Blox Fruits isn't one of those games that really needs an introduction. Its PvP is, to say the least, it's just subjective. There is no real skill in Blox Fruits, and while yeah, you can see someone using like a gun main Rumble build, that doesn't make them skilled if the build requires a one-shot to even function. What's the difference between their build and like, I don't know, a Yeti spammer? They both have the same goal, get you to 0 HP. So what really makes it skilled aside from difficulty? If I infant stun you with Rumble, Superhuman, Soul Cane, and Soul Guitar, and I one-shot you like that, how's the difference between someone using Portal, Sanguine Arts, and TTK to one-shot you? There is no real difference aside from the difficulty level. But either way, it's not skilled if you just set up a whole one-shot. One-shots really aren't skilled. The skill comes from really poking. If you don't know what poking is, I would call poking being able to do semi-combo, like have fruits that won't rely on just you having to do a one-shot combo. It should have you do multiple combos in quick succession, poking your opponent until death. That's what real skill is. It disengages the fight, enabling, for more aggressive play. And, that's why fruits in competitive Blox Fruits get banned, because they're so annoying to deal with, people don't want to deal with it. And while, yeah, you can make an argument saying my point is stupid, does it really help the fact that, like, most fights end in who can land the first hit to land a true one-shot combo? No, it doesn't. Does that really take skill if your opponent can't even do anything to stop it? It's the first one to land the first hit. That's not really skill. The reason people liked update 17.1 was because the PvP was mainly just poking. There were no full one-shot combos you could do or consistently do because there were so few and far between of them that they were easy to notice and avoid entirely. But now the meta is always shifting and there's always something else that's just extremely broken. Blox Fruits has a horrible time at balancing things, or it takes 3 to 5 months of business days to actually do something about it. I'm not even kidding either. Like, the power creep is insane. If you told someone right now, someone in the past, that Venom was not going to be the best fruit in like a year, they would call you stupid. Because how do you top Venom? Like, let's be honest, how did you top Venom back then? You couldn't. But with all these fruits, it just does Venom's job and then some. Like, Kitsune is just the glorified Venom fruit, but dough. In the sense that the combos are way too easy to hit, and it's made for comboing, so of course all of its moves are going to be insane extenders. Like, how does one person balance dough? My opinion is it should have more king-trickable abilities, while on the other hand, being more versatile, so if you actually mix and match your abilities, you'd be able to pull off some nasty combos instead of the same combo over and over again. How would you go about balancing Yeti? I would say, first of all, make the first 2 abilities, better, like more situational, make the 2 grabs better combo extenders, and give it a gimmick. If it hits you too many times, you get frozen. Also, nerf the fucking transformation. The transformation shouldn't even be that broken to begin with. Out of anything in the game, I feel like Zoans in full transformation should have had an entirely different moveset with an entirely different gimmick. I feel like if a certain damage level is exceeded, you automatically get knocked out of your transformation regardless of what you're playing as. It doesn't really make sense why it's not like that to begin with. People just camp in their form. For example, when Kitsune was Prime, they could just run across the entire map. There's nothing you could do about it. When Yeti was primed, what were you going to do about that? They would just grab you and curb stomp you. There was not much you could do about Yeti. Every full transformation that has been in the game has broken the game somehow or some way. Dragon is not a good fruit. They deemed it to be king of fruits for some reason, and then they released it on an unstable, unbalanced state, saying that's how it was supposed to be. If you see my other video ranting about Blox Fruits and the dragon incident, you would know how much I disliked how they approached the entire update. And then they focused mainly on the transformation and not the base set of dragon, and that's what really ticks me off, because the base set sucks so badly it forces you to go in transformation to use the fruit, or the fruit to even be good. So what's the point in using it if you're forced to bring transformation when the transformation is now also bad? And the cherry on top is the fact they said that the control fruit was going to be a dragon leveled threat. Why? You just admitted it's going to come out completely unbalanced. From what we've seen from the sneaks and whatnot, we know it's going to have like multiple M1s. I predict that it's going to have like 3 movesets. One with like the room on the sword, like K room, then you inside of room, and then you out of room. They all have different movesets. That's my personal prediction. But the fact they said control is going to be a dragon level threat speaks so much about how they care about balancing. That was probably the dumbest thing that they've ever said, in my personal opinion. They just have the need to make everything shiny instead of balancing it. I don't know why. Why did Lightning have to go through an entire revamp? Why couldn't it just be a visual effects rework and some, balance changes? And why is Thunderbolt Destruction so broken? That big of AoE, plus it's that fast? Why? How are you supposed to realistically dodge that without sky camping? I used to main Rumble, I used to main Doe V1, I used to main Control, I used to main Venom, I used to main Soul Fruit when it was still named Soul. Why are they going through these changes, aside from like Soul? Like, when these fruits inevitably get reworked, they're going to be in a much worse state than they already are. And this is my prediction video right now of how bad it's going to get. Because they keep doing the same mistakes again and again. They release a new fruit to topple another one. They made Yeti to counter Leopard where it was already bad, and then they revamped Yeti to market it as the better Yeti. They released a fruit to counter a fruit that was supposed to counter a fruit. That makes no sense. Also, screw the people that say,
well, actually, be grateful that they updated the game at all. I mean, you guys asked for this.
Like, that is such a stupid argument to make. No one asked for Yeti to be so overwhelmingly broken. They didn't ask for Dragon to be broken on release, and they didn't ask for Kitsune to be broken on release. Like, nobody asked for any of that. We just want content. We don't want the meta to drastically change. We want the meta to be versatile and fair. We want like a wide roster of things we can use. We don't want to use the same thing every single time because someone else makes the game unfun for us. That's why that's supposed to balance the game. And yet, somehow we get called the bad people for saying that the update's bad. We want to go back to an old update when it was honestly genuinely better than the new one. Each update after the other is just horrible. The other reasons people stop asking, the other reason people stop making suggestions, because what would be the point? Clearly nobody's listening. Nobody cares about anyone else's opinions if it's not the right opinion, which is we need flashier things and yada yada yada. But yeah, here's a non-AI generated rant video for y'all to hopefully enjoy. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm tired.